Our population is rising every year, and we teenagers are one of its catalysts. Why teenagers? Adults always seem to label us as the hope of society, the ones who right all their wrongs, the one who bring the bright future our world actually deserves. But isn't everyone equally acceptable to mistakes? People are always bent on sticking with what's right, but ends up always choosing what's wrong anyway. How about the deaths every year? We all know that death is inevitable, but it's not enough to trump the numbers of births. Our population is rising every year. Why? Because along with the adults' faint attempts to a better future, we teenagers, their so-called hope of society, are like double-edged swords. We might be the key for a better future, or better tomorrow, but we can also be the weapon against it. An example, teenage pregnancy. According to the United Nations Population Fund, pregnancies among girls less than 18 years of age have irreparable consequences. Health consequences include not yet physically and mentally ready for the responsibility of being a mother or being a father or having a family. As a matter of fact, National Campaign Teenage to Prevent Teenage Pregnancy said that nearly 1 in 13 mothers will experience another pregnancy within 2 years of having their first. Teenage pregnancy may also affect one's health and life or even one's economic issues. Teenage pregnancy rates always increase. Behind it is the only cause that will never really be eliminated, the unprotected sex. As for me, here are some of the other causes for teenage pregnancy. Curiosity. Curiosity will always be a part of our instinct as human beings. And curiosity mixed with a tinge of one's newfound sex drive caused by puberty can be catastrophic, especially since it can lead to situations wherein one takes an action beyond one's capability to think and decide. No one really is safe from temptations, especially when temptations present itself so sweetly. And for teenagers like us, isn't it easier to indulge in self-satisfaction rather than to work on our self-control? Also, one of the reasons why teenagers dip their toes in unfamiliar territories like premarital sex is peer pressure. Our teenage life revolves around our friends, and no matter how much we deny it, we do certain things in order to get validation from our friends. As a matter of fact, psychology today proved from data analysis that 30% of the boys feel pressure to have sex compared with 23% of the girls. This only means that our circle of friends play a big part of decision making. Teenagers may get influence from other sexual experiences, or worse, from videos and stories that has been shared from one another. Drugs and alcohol are examples of temptations. These aren't really for teenagers, but it doesn't stop them from indulging in this as it really isn't new to a teen's life. Just like adults, they use this as their stress reliever, or a way for them to forget their problems temporarily. But being under influence can lead to unwanted and unconscious actions. Most of our teenagers, most of us teenagers, when left without proper guidance, can't help but to state our desires, no matter the consequence. Teen girls are more likely to get pregnant if their parents are away or negligent, causing them to act on their own without parental advice. According to BMC Pregnancy and Childbirth, 51% of teen girls are more likely to become pregnant because of this matter, and 3 times higher risk of teenage pregnancy when their older sister has a child in ages 13 to 19 rather. This shows that a family member's presence is significantly influential to a teenager's future. Another reason causing teenage pregnancy is poverty, one of the unsolved problems not only in our country, but the whole world. It may not be obvious, but economic status greatly affects one's decision making. Due to this, most teenagers focus more on working rather than studying in order to survive. and teenagers who act like adults will do as what adults do, build their own family. But this doesn't stop the world to pray for vulnerable teenagers. Lack of education due to poverty can make teenagers, and even kids, engage in human trafficking. Teenagers are being sold by their own relatives to foreign people all over the world, and that violates their human rights. Teens can become pregnant as a result of rape or even sexual abuse from human trafficking. Due to this, the numbers of teenagers having STIs, HIV, and AIDS may also increase. Based on the Guttmacher Institute, girls who experience sexual abuse are more likely to get pregnant before they turn 18. Somehow, in other countries, teenage pregnancy is being practiced. Just for example, is a teenager being married to an old man just for the sake of money, or the so-called fixed marriage. The result of it? Overpopulation and malnutrition among children. Being pregnant at an early age can lead a teenager to drop out of school. Most of the time, teenagers are more likely to drop out, to hide until they give birth. Many teens consider teenage pregnancy as a mistake. They do not have enough emotional and intellectual maturity to handle this kind of predicament. In addition to that, one study in 2001 found that teenage women who are pregnant or teenagers that are already mothers are more likely to commit suicide than other teenagers. As a person living in this country, as a proud member of our society, how can you help to at least reduce the possibility of a pregnant teenager? The CDC from United States of America found that only 65% of girls and 53% of boys who had received information about abstinence and contraception from sex education, formal sex education rather, said that it has indeed been a successful treatment for teenagers to lower the number of pregnancies. Teenage girls and boys are at a higher risk of unplanned pregnancies, so they should be the priority for formal sex education and social support from their families. By this act, formal sex education can be the way to control themselves from prematurely involving themselves in sexual activities due to temptations and peer pressure. Having social support coming from their families or even relatives may also lower the risk of teenagers experiencing a hard time connecting to their families and doing things that may put their lives in danger. Some teenagers don't usually understand the biological and emotional consequences of having sex. Having campaigns may also help them from being in this kind of situation. Family planning from campaigns not only provides teenagers a safe and supportive space, but can also help the country to control its population. If there are support campaigns, there should be also prevention campaigns. Under these programs are these different kinds of birth control that can and will cater the needs of every individual. Various forms of contraception aren't really new to everyone, but the underlying reason why not many teenagers use these is because of their monetary value. These are too expensive. I suggest giving out free condoms, one of the most common forms of contraception, to those who are sexually active. This may negative effects to have teenagers and pregnant who are conservative, but this is one of the easier ways to at least reduce the number of pregnancies. To end my speech, let me tell you this. Entering an unfamiliar territory comes with a price. Just think about it. Being a mother or a father at a very young age, while you are not even ready yet, will force you to do things just to survive. In this day and age, sexual activities are unstoppable, especially to those teenagers who have already experienced this once. They are the slave of their feelings. As a teenager, we need to be careful, especially nowadays that danger is always unto us. We are the teenagers. We should at least be cautious to the things that we know are dangerous to us. As much as possible, avoid making decisions in a rush that you might end up regretting in the end. Actions stemmed from lack of proper thinking can change one's life in a snap. Good and responsible decisions are still up to us no matter what path we are taking. Some things may seem more enjoyable when done spontaneously, but planning for the future will always be better than deciding on things without thinking. There will always be a solution to any mistakes, but if we don't learn from it, we will actually always be regretful of what we did. As a youth, we should be modeled to at least do our part in making our country a better place. Even though there are times we may have been moved by our feelings, we should still be disciplined and fight to choose what the right is. Happiness is doing every little thing we want to do. But true happiness will always be doing things that causes happiness, not only to ourselves, but to others